This is a graphics card. It may have been a while since you've seen one of these. They're not exactly roaming free in the wild now, are they? What if I told you you could get hold of an RTX 3080 today? You don't even need a gaming PC. You don't need anything. Well, I suppose you probably need some electricity and like a base PC, but basically you don't need a gaming PC. Don't get too technical now. Here we are running Cyberpunk 2077 in 4K HDR with ray tracing. But the best bit is, this PC is doing absolutely nothing. Where's the RTX 3080? How is it doing this? Find out after a quick word from this video's sponsor. Boom, smooth transition. DDR5 memory is here, and Corsair has you covered. Extra bandwidth, sky-high speeds, and slick new designs make Corsair DDR5 shine, with new Intel XMP 3.0 profiles that allow for crazy high overclocks with just a single click. Choose Vengeance for stylish performance without breaking the bank, or go all out with Dominator Platinum for insane speeds, stability, and jaw-dropping RGB effects. Learn more today with that link down below. Okay then, let me fill you in on exactly what this is and how it works. The news today is that Nvidia are launching their GeForce Now RTX 3080 plan. That does quite literally give you what it says on the tin. It gives you access to an RTX 3080 that can be used to play your games, either at 1440p at 120 FPS on a PC, or actually slightly higher if you're on a Mac. I think it's 1600p at 120. Mac gaming is better apparently. Or for our main party piece, you can grab yourself one of these, an Nvidia Shield. They come in these little tube type things, or something that resembles more of a set-top box, and then you can stream in 4K HDR with RTX on, straight to a screen of your choice, be it a monitor, a TV, or anything really with an HDMI port. The best thing about this service is with the lack of requirements, because unlike traditional PC gaming, you don't need something that resembles this. You don't need something that you're going to spend quite literally thousands of pounds on and a load of luck to actually get hold of all of the parts. You can run this on pretty much any device. It gives you an absolute ton of flexibility, because when you're out and about, you could stream remotely from your phone at up to 120 FPS, sit in front of the sofa and you can play on your living room TV. But then when things get really serious and you maybe want to play some Apex Legends really competitively, you can grab yourself a gaming monitor at 120 FPS, and then you can quite literally play with a gaming PC that's, well, I was going to say a million miles away. It's quite far away. A million miles away would probably have too much latency. Sorry guys. Moon cloud computing. Or maybe actual cloud computing. It is super simple to get yourself started. Just open up GeForce Now. There are a lot of games on offer, but it is very important to note that they're not all there. Some, of course, you'll need a mouse and keyboard to play, but most of them really, you'll be able to play with a controller, but it's going to mirror what it would actually be on a PC, because it is running on a PC. That's the point. But Apex Legends is brand new, and it is something that I am very used to playing, not only on PC, but with an RTX 3080. It was in my personal system for ages, and of course on this very monitor. So let's give it a go and see if it's any good. I mean, if it's not very good, then this has been clickbait, and I apologize. But I'm told it's great. But I was told that by Nvidia, and let's be honest, they're not gonna say it's crap if it's crap. Let's have a look at our settings that have been pre-applied for us by GeForce Now. Here we have our 1440p refresh rate. It is running at max settings, I believe. You're welcome to change these, by the way. You don't have to stick to their recommendations, but most of the time you probably should. You'll notice as always that there is this option for VSync. I would definitely leave this alone, because one of the new features is that you actually have this adaptive VSync, so it's a bit like G-Sync, but sort of not, because it actually synchronizes the game's output with the stream that's coming to you, so you're essentially getting a smoother gameplay experience. Here we go then, Apex Legends, 1440p, 120 FPS. I have not used this yet. This will be the test, and immediately you can tell that that's definitely over 60 FPS. I mean, it definitely feels like 120, there is no doubt about that. I will say immediately, I can tell that this is actually being streamed purely because the quality of the image is not quite as sharp as it would be as if it was native. Don't get me wrong, it is definitely very close. I wouldn't say that it's a problem, but the more you move around, you can definitely see that the image is being compressed. But in terms of the way it feels, this definitely feels as if it's running on a PC, to be honest with you. That is actually very surprising. Like, I forgot for a second here that I'm not running off of this PC. I'm just so used to this setup, right? We do builds all the time. This feels so incredibly normal. That's a really weird realization. I mean, our ping is 6 milliseconds here. which is ridiculously low. The thing that is definitely blowing my mind here is the fact that this isn't like a good tech demo. This isn't something that you can look at and go, oh, that's nice, that's for the really wealthy. This is very much something that I would be more than happy to sit down and play, and I think I would be very competitive. I definitely can notice a dropped frame here and there, which is quite annoying, but it's not really something I would say you don't get from like a normal gaming PC. Don't get me wrong, you can still get a better experience if you had an RTX 3080 sitting next to you, but then again, the other thing is that this is literally going to be silent and you can play it on any device. Jumping out the ship, again, you definitely can notice that there is a little bit of just softness to that image, but it depends how close you are to the monitor, really. It's a weird one because this is 1440p and you can tell that it doesn't quite look like 1440p. But when you're testing the 4K that we had earlier running on that Nvidia Shield, that was pretty much imperceivable to a normal 4K image. So I imagine that they are compressing this differently to actually accommodate that high refresh rate. It caps out at the moment at 50 megabits a second, so if you've got that download speed, you are going to get the best experience. But I guess in the future, this is probably going to go higher. Oh, got a little bit of lag there. We got some drops. Our ping went to 17. But that's the first time that that's happened, to be fair. But obviously, if you're in a firefight and then that's what causes you to die, then that's not going to be so good. Though in my case, it was just talking to the camera. So again, it's your fault. Going back to the games though, the thing that definitely does concern me a little bit is the omission of certain titles. Let's say that you want to play Call of Duty Warzone, which, let's be honest, you probably do if you're statistically someone that plays first-person games. Then I don't actually think it's on here. Call of the Sea? Call of Juarez? Not Call of Duty. It doesn't matter how much power you've got under the hood, it doesn't matter what the latency is. If all of your friends are playing a game and you can't access it, that's definitely a considerable downside. I'm interested in what sort of frame rate we can actually get from this RTX 3080 in the cloud though. So here we have our Nvidia A10G, 1440p, RTX DLSS set to quality, graphics. Let's go to highest. Let's cheat, let's go even more than highest. Haha. What is wrong with in-game presets sometimes? Highest, and it's nowhere near the highest. Forza Horizon 5 does it as well, and it really annoys me. Don't lie. Spotty connection. Your network connection is spotty. Now, what I will say is that I am running this over Wi-Fi. This was going to be the big reveal at the end of the video, that this whole time I've been running this over Wi-Fi and haven't had any issues. That is no longer the narrative. Anyway, we did get there in the end. Here we have Tomb Raider running at proper max settings, not the fake ones. And yeah, we're easily getting around about 100 to 120 FPS. But then to me, actually, this does look a lot better than Apex did. You still can see that there is a little bit of softness around the image, but because this isn't the sort of game that you are going to be quickly moving the camera around like a million miles an hour, then you're probably not going to notice it as much. I am being really nitpicky here. I am doing an apples to apples comparison, I guess. But realistically, if you don't have a gaming PC that you're used to, I think you're going to be more than happy with this. And even if you do, then you're probably going to accept the compromises. But let's swap over to our Nvidia Shield now and go back to that 4K 60Hz HDR gaming we were talking about earlier. I think the thing that's already pretty interesting is that by adding a controller, you are adding a fair bit extra latency to the system, because this itself is not particularly quick if you were plugging this in over USB. Can you do that with a Shield? I don't know, I assume so. Then that would probably speed things up a little bit, but because you have all of that extra time between actually sending the signal to the Shield and then sending it to the cloud and coming back and receiving it, I think this is definitely where you are going to get a little bit extra latency that is pretty much unavoidable. But even then, this is still pretty close to the real deal. I mean, you can definitely notice this a lot more than you could with Apex, but of course this is running at 60 FPS rather than 120. I mean, driving along now, I would say this feels like playing on a TV when you've got one of the movie modes on, so you're not playing in game mode and it adds that little bit extra latency. Having said that, now that I'm aiming, you definitely can notice it a fair bit more. You're sort of more steering towards the character rather than actually, well, aiming. You can't really tell that you're streaming this at all. Like, it's phenomenal, the quality that you've got of this. Even with DLSS set to performance mode, this really does look 4K. That is like mind-blown type stuff. Let's cause some trouble. I'm shooting at the car and he still doesn't care. What is going on here? You know what? I might have been wrong there, because booting up a different game, Apex Legends, this actually feels substantially better than Cyberpunk did. So I reckon that that latency issue was a mixture of Cyberpunk being, well, Cyberpunk, but then also that we clearly weren't running at a constant 60 FPS. This not only looks a little bit smoother, but it feels like a completely different system, to be honest with you. You know what it might be, actually? I reckon it's the 4K streaming, because here we've got Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I'm dead. Whoops. Here I've got Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and this also feels a little bit disconnected, as if the latency is not quite as good as it could be. And it's bizarre, because Apex Legends did not feel anything like this, but both Cyberpunk and Shadow of the Tomb Raider do. So both of those are games that run at 4K. I mean, to be clear, this definitely looks absolutely fantastic. You can definitely tell that this is 4K resolution. Again, slightly soft, but nowhere near the same softness that you got at 120. It's just that you get that slight disconnect that means you can tell that you're playing on the cloud. When you're playing on PC at 120 frames a second, I assure you, you don't get that feeling at all. So the PC-centric review, 1440p, 120 FPS, and then the 4K 60 is sort of that. I think the thing that confuses me the most is the pricing on this, because it's currently $100 for 6 months, which is definitely a lot cheaper than an RTX 3080, and it's a lot more available. But obviously you get to keep the graphics card. So I think more than ever, the question goes out to you guys on this. What do you make of GeForce Now? Have you been trying to get this service? Have you been using it? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you are going to try this, do let me know down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. And while you're down there, grab your DDR5 with Corsair. Vengeance DDR5 has a slick new compact look, and has been designed to get the very best out of Intel's Alder Lake CPUs. Dominator Platinum DDR5 meanwhile takes it to an entirely new level with its gorgeous heat spreader finish and vivid RGB lighting that's all powered by Corsair iCUE. Level up your memory today with that link down below. But thank you so much for watching, smash the like button, get yourself subscribed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.